Let's get this party started, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Time for another brilliant lecture with Professor Victor Singingeagle at Sisseton, Wahpeton College. But this time, broadcasting to you today from downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, at the, what is this called? The Assessment Conference, Higher Education. And without any further ado, the man himself, the brilliant Professor Victor Singingeagle. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's time to get started. I mess around way too much, and as you know, we are behind schedule. We got a lot to talk about. Now, here is a question that I posed to some students at this conference. Do your composition professors ever encourage you to, quote unquote, be honest? Let's do the air quotes. I can't do it with both hands. Be honest when using AI. In that, you should include your discussions with the chatbots in your research papers, or in our case, discussion forums, e-learning discussion forums, or even on the exams and stuff like that. Well, what this means is, if you, in fact, admit, hey, check it out, I was really taking your question seriously, I took it to heart, and I was thinking so hard, I decided to share my ponderances with ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Grok or Gemini or Copilot. And I said, hey, Professor Singingeagle asked me this question, and I'm really thinking about it and something. How do I put my thoughts into organization? And together, we came to an accord, and here's what I would like to share with you as I answer your question about Native American literature, or whatever the question might be. Why Caleb Chisamatuk and Zitkalasa indeed wrote in ingratiating tones. Here's what ChatGPT shared with me, and I kind of agree with it. And even ChatGPT gave me the sources that kind of back up what we're discussing. So there we go. Yes, you get more points by being honest and saying, hey, look at this. I took this question so seriously that I shared it with ChatGPT. You got it? Okay, now, that was one of the questions. Here is some other stuff that I want to share with you. Here we go. What is the value, and remember, we're making this specific to our class, Native Literature, okay? How does the story of why a possum has no hair on his tail affect your future? Or, how are these stories going to help you get a job, retain a job, thrive on the job? Ooh. Now, as a hint to what I'm talking about, let's hit the rewind button. Oh, you guys don't remember tapes. Never mind. Cassette tapes used to make that noise when you would hit the rewind button. We want to rewind back to the buffalo and salmon days. And imagine, if you will, wintertime in the teepee, in the wigwam, or the hogan, or the longhouse. In those days when it's super cold and the snow was piling up and everybody's lighting a fire and all gather around the fire and they're telling stories. Elders, parents, warriors, teenage girls, children, everybody all gathered round, and they kept each other occupied by telling stories. My tribe, by the way, it was the men who told the stories, but never mind, we won't go there. We believed it was sacred medicine, storytelling, and medicine in the native context of that term, not the Western context where it's just medicine to heal the body. No, medicine to heal the soul and the mind, but never mind, we won't go there. We got to stay focused, you see. Because even back then, I'm sure some of the young warriors when the elders or the old men were telling their stories, were wondering, well, how is this going to help us catch salmon or buffalo or fight off the enemy? That kind of stuff. Well, it's still being asked to this very day, and that is a challenge question I am leaving to you. Got it? Okay. So I'm going to cut it off there because, as you know, my want is to yakety, 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 yak, 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 yak all the time and overdo it. So we're going to stop there, and we'll post this week from downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.